Good evening and welcome. Thanks for those that are here to brave the heat of the day. Please be advised that the video of this meeting is streamlined on YouTube and will also be available on Facebook and the village website. I'd like to call the meeting to order with a roll call. Trustee Augustine.
Here.
Trustee Gale.
Here.
Trustee McGee. Trustee O'Brien. Trustee Peterson.
Here.
Trustee Thompson.
Here.
President Kugler. The quorum's been established, and given President Kugler's absence for tonight's meeting, I'd like to request a motion to appoint Trustee Lou Gale as President Pro Tem to preside over tonight's meeting.
Motion to appoint Lou as Pro
Trustee
Tem.
Thompson.
I'll second.
Second. Trustee Augustine. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, fellow trustees. Good to see you all. I'd like to invite the audience to stand and for Clerk Saladino to start us with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, justice for all.
Thank you, Clerk Saladino. So tonight we're going to start off with the President's Report. And we're going to start with item A under the President's Report is a resolution of appreciation on the retirement of Sergeant Patrick Fula after 24 years of service to the village of LaGrange and the LaGrange Police Department. Sergeant, I understand your family is here and they've joined you tonight. If you'd please come up to the podium, which you've done. Your whole family can join you too if you'd like while I read the proclamation. Or they're good? Okay, that's fine. Perfectly fine. So welcome to you and to your family who's here joining us. So I'll read the resolution of appreciation. So a resolution of appreciation on the retirement of Sergeant Patrick Fulla after 24 years of service. Whereas Patrick Fulla joined the LaGrange Police Department as a police officer in 2001, and whereas he served as a patrol officer, investigator, and squad leader, and whereas he was appointed to the rank of sergeant in 2021, and whereas he has consistently demonstrated commitment to service and respect for all members of the police department, and whereas he has honored his profession by protecting the rights of all people while showing compassion and respect for all individuals, and whereas his professionalism, dedication, and commitment to excellence throughout his 24 years of service to the citizens of LaGrange is truly admirable. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the village president, village clerk, and board of trustees of the village of LaGrange do hereby express their sincere gratitude and deepest appreciation to Sergeant Patrick Fulla for his 24 years of service, loyalty, and dedication to the village, and convey their best wishes on his retirement. Now, Sergeant, before you get away, we're going to give you an opportunity to speak, if you'd like to take it. Speech.
Oh, there we go. I'd like to thank the board, the village. Years ago, I came across a gentleman whose son I actually had in custody, and he told me, because I felt bad, we had this particular kid about 7 times that summer. And it wasn't light things. Dad was having a problem with him, and I apologized to him because he was trying everything. And he goes, it takes a village. My career is because of a village. The people I worked with, the community, I had to learn how to do it the Grange way. First day I started, they're like, okay, you're a police officer, but you're not a Grange police officer. You gotta go through FTO. I might have had a little bit of a different learning curve and talked to the chief a few more times after FTO, but we learned. And everybody that's behind me, I'm up here because of them. Everything I have is because of them. So I want to thank you, thank them, but I also want to thank my family who sacrificed a lot over the years. My family, they would just go, okay, when I got called out on Mother's Day or called out at other times. They sacrificed more than I did because I loved what I did. So a special thank you goes to them. Thank you all.
All right, thank you, Sergeant. All right, next on the agenda, item B under the President's report is our annual appointment for the positions of village attorney, village prosecutor, village treasurer, and village collector. The terms of these appointments are 1 year, with reappointments needed after the first May of each year. Recommended appointments are for the term of May 1st, 2025 to April 30th, 2026. And they appear below on our agenda. The following appointments are recommended. For village attorney, Elrod Friedman, LLP. For village prosecutor, John M. Kenny, Jr. Additionally, the following interim appointments are recommended pending a permanent appointment. Village treasurer, Charity Jones. Village collector, Charity Jones. May I have a motion to approve the appointments as presented?
I'll motion to approve the appointments as presented.
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Augustine. Thank you, Trustee Peterson. Any discussion? All right. Seeing none, Clerk Saladino, please call the roll.
Trustee Gale,
Aye.
Trustee Thompson,
Aye.
Trustee Peterson,
Aye.
Trustee Augustine.
Aye.
All right, the motion passes. With that, we'll move on to the manager's report. Manager Knight, please provide the manager's report.
You bet. Thank you, President Pro Tem Gale. A little over a week ago, there was a collision between a freight train and a truck trailer at the LaGrange Road train crossing. Thankfully, there were no injuries reported. Staff responded quickly and worked with a variety of agencies to ensure that the safety of the scene, clean up debris, remove the damaged trailer and its cargo, and ultimately towards the reopening of the crossing later that evening. Not only did village staff do an excellent job, but our partnering organizations of LTAC, BNSF, METRA, and a multitude of fire and police agencies also provided critical support in their response. Sincere thank you to all of those that responded and worked towards reopening the crossing. Lastly, just a note that village offices will be closed on Friday, July 4th, in observance of Independence Day. Offices will reopen on Monday, July 7th, and we wish everybody an enjoyable 4th of July holiday. President Pro Tem Gale, that concludes my report.
All right. Thank you, Manager Knight. Clerk Saladino, I'd like to request you read the items on the consent agenda, followed by those items appearing on current business.
Matters on the consent agenda will be considered by a single motion and vote because they already have been considered fully by the board at a previous meeting or have been determined to be of a routine nature. Any member of the Board of Trustees may request that an item be moved from the consent agenda to current business for separate consideration. Item A, a resolution approving an agreement with Fire Recovery USA Billing for cost recovery services. Item B, June 23, 2025 consolidated voucher. And item C, minutes of the Village Board of LaGrange of Trustees meeting, May 12th, 2025. That's it.
Thank you, Clerk Saladino. So next on the tonight's agenda is public comments regarding agenda items. All right. Seeing none, we will proceed to the consent agenda and vote portion on the agenda.
Trustees, they want to comment?
Yeah. Well, first I'll entertain a motion and a second.
I move to accept the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Thank you, Trustee Peterson and Trustee Augustine. Is there any discussion? All right. Seeing none, Clerk Saladino, call the roll call vote, please.
Trustee Thompson?
Aye.
Trustee Gale?
Aye.
Trustee Augustine?
Aye.
Trustee Peterson?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. All right, since we have nothing on current business, now we'll move to public comments regarding matters not on the agenda. So anybody in the audience who wishes to comment on matters that were not on the agenda, feel free to step forward.
Hello, everybody, and thanks for your service. Thank you to those of you who attended the Juneteenth celebration. It was wonderful, and I hope you enjoyed it. There's an event coming up. I just wanted to let you know. I didn't email you in advance, but my husband, Harold, is part of this group that's doing Spiritual Unity of the Tribes at the Boy Scout camp in Oregon. And some indigenous people from Easter Island have come up as part of that event. And they're offering a cultural event on Tuesday, July 1 at Plymouth Place at 1 o'clock. And so if anyone is interested, everyone is welcome to attend. And I do have a few flyers, and I can email the information to the board. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is John Pluto. I live at 718 East Avenue. What I come to talk to what I came to talk to tonight about is Sedgwick Park, and they are proceeding with their construction that they are going to do there to improve the park. And I went to the last board meeting that they had, and there was soil samples that were made throughout the park, and 5 acres of the park came up dirty. So there's the EPA steps in at this point and says there's a couple of remediations that you can do. And one of them is to pull 3 feet of soil out of the contaminated area and replace it with a barrier and clean dirt. And the other option is 3-footed dirt on top of what's there. Well, right now that property is the lowest end of the village. That's where everything goes out. And we have an issue there. If we raise the East Avenue side up 3 feet, that park is going to hold water in the center. And I don't see it as a feasible plan. Well, they were going to vote to approve that. And I said, how can you approve something like that with no plans for drainage or how it's going to impact the rest of the community? So I have a copy of the map, and it shows all the chemicals that are on it. And I asked them, whose dime was that going to be as far as the cleanup goes? And they said, well, they thought that it was theirs. Well, across the street was a gas company plant in 1909, and that's covered under a allocation that the power company and the gas company had to remediate that bluff area that I talked about before when you were going to rezone it. So I compared the notes from the Huff and Huff report of 1996 and with these new reports, and many of the chemicals are the same chemicals that are in the park. So I think that maybe the village needs to intercede in here too, to go to the ICC and say, hey, you got to open this case back up, and this has got to be remediated, and it should be done correctly, because now you're going to affect all the home prices possibly, because I don't see a solution raising that area up 3 feet. It's gonna, the water table in there is already 12 inches to 24 inches. There's a lot of water that sits on those open fields there. But also, the timeline, it was November 1st, 2024, the gas company did a bunch of work right in the area where the hot spot is. And my question is, does our village regulate what they do? Do they check to make sure that they do everything correctly? Well, it turns out that that happens to be one of the dirty spots on the map. And I have concerns that the dirt that they took out, they took it and removed it to a site, and I think they brought it back and put it there, back in place. I don't know. But it seems awfully funny that that whole area there has got all the chemicals in it, so it might have got mixed up and it came closer to the top. So I guess what we got to realize there is that park was a low area, and it became a dumping ground for many things, but some of it could have been from the gas company. And I think that the gas company and power company are responsible for the cleanup on that. And I think that the village should be looking into whatever they can do to help those people in the park district out, because they surely don't know what they're doing.
Well, thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Hi, please let me know if you can't hear me. You can't hear me. I don't.
Usually, yeah, Milo.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. My name is Ann Linklater Brandt. I have come to request the board to change the name of Linklater Court. It is no one's address, and the Linklater signs have been removed at Brainerd and Edgewood. The name Linklater still exists at Park, Blackstone, and Sunset. I am the daughter of William Linklater, for whom the street is named. William Linklater groomed me and sexually abused me from when I was approximately 5 years old until I was 10 years old in our home. I had a mother who was unable to provide protection. For the village of LaGrange to change Linklater Court back to its original name of 48th Street would be an outward sign that LaGrange does not have or does not honor pedophiles. It would be a sign that this current board recognizes the rights of the injured, the innocents, and those without a voice. I ask the board to join me in taking a stand. As a member of the Linklater family and a childhood sexual abuse survivor, I am determined to have the name removed. The name was changed from 48th Street to honor the man who was village attorney for his years of service. I am asking for the change back to 48th Street to honor all the current and past victims of this silent global pandemic of childhood sexual abuse. I am doing this for my young self and all those who are victims currently and who are adult survivors. Surviving is a lifelong journey of therapy, counseling, and support to this day and beyond. LaGrange is my hometown. It's a family town. honoring an abuser needs to be corrected. Thank you.
Thank you for coming out and speaking. All right.
Hi, my name is Nancy Kenny. I live at 400 South Peck, but I've lived in LaGrange in various residences almost all my life. I have known Ann almost all my life too. She's a little bit younger than I am, so we weren't playmates, but we got to know each other, but our families knew each other quite well. She's from a very old, wonderful family, the Connells. Isn't your father Connell? The Connells? And delightful family, and everybody knew each other. But I got to know Ann again when we were grown up because we were both teachers at St. Cletus. I taught second grade and Ann taught third grade. And at that time, I had 43 second graders and she had over 30 third graders. So that's when teaching was really teaching. Then after that, we got together again when I owned Cossett & Company Realtors, and she became one of my most prized and dedicated salesmen. She was really good at selling houses. But better than that, she was a good friend, and she always will be a good friend. I learned about Ann's situation some years ago, and so it's been going on for a long time. Or it was when she was a little girl. And I hope that we can help her. I mean, to us, the name Linklater Court is just a name. And it was named 47th Street. And it would probably be a lot easier on rescue services, although I think they're very professional. I won't have any problem with it. But I remember one time when I was in the police station or the fire station or something, and they had a call to Linklater Court, and there were contract paramedics at the time, so it wouldn't happen with our full-time staff now. But they didn't know where Linklater Court was. It's only a few little streets, and I think to Ann, it would make a huge difference in her life, and I think she deserves that. She grew up in LaGrange, went to local schools, is a wonderful person, very, very charming and a lot of fun, and I love her dearly. So I hope that all of you can find some way to help her so she can be at peace. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Seeing no other comments, all right, we will we'll move on then to the next part of our agenda, which is trustee reports. Are there any trustees that wish to provide comments? Trustee Augustine.
Thank you. Firstly, thank you, Ann, for being so brave to come here tonight and share. Second, thanks to the staff, as Village Manager Jack mentioned, for handling in such an amazing way that train crash. I mean, it was the topic of discussion for everybody, and couldn't be more proud as to how each department came together to solve that quickly, and that no one got hurt is absolutely amazing. And it opened up later that night. So thanks again. It's an amazing team we have here. And thanks to Charity for wearing so many hats. I see that you keep taking on more and more, and we appreciate you always rolling with the punches here. So, thank you.
Any other trustee comments? All right. Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Thompson and Trustee Augustine. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? All right. Meeting is adjourned at 7:59.